comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I was back out and about gigging tonight, and boy, was it a rough one. That was a fucking rough one. There was a heckler, but the heckler was fine. He was retarded. Like I mentioned that I'm married to an Indian, and he started doing the Indian voice, and then he interjected like maybe 10 times. So the whole rhythm of everything was off. So that was whatever, but it was more like the crowd, like the young crowd. No one in the room would have been over like 22 maximum. And I don't know anything about 22-year-olds. They might as well be aliens to me. I know that much about their life. I don't know how they grew up. I don't know their interests. They seem to be emotionless. There seems to be something missing. Where a personality used to exist in a human being, there seems to be some sort of void. Like, I don't know. It's a very strange thing. I like them though. They're very nice and polite. I do like the young crew, but fucking something's gone wrong. Maybe it was COVID. How old would a 22-year-old have been during COVID? Like 18. Yeah, that's your development years, and you're locked inside and the world's going nuts. Not to mention you grew up on your fucking phone, so everything's already retarded. And who are you raised by? Who are you raised by if you're 22? So let's say fucking your parents had you at 28, which is probably a bit young these days, unless you're in sub-Saharan Africa. So 28, 22, that puts someone at 50. That's only 9 years older than me. That's still millennial, but towards the more retarded side of millennials, like up towards the Gen X side. I suppose Gen Xers were all right. Yeah, nah, Gen Xers, that would make sense. It's more Gen X, let's put it that way, because Gen X were more like fucking nihilistic loners, and now their kids are the Gen Zs. I think my kid's alpha, which makes sense. The alpha dog has an alpha dog. Makes complete fucking sense to me. So now I need to work on how I'm going to build rapport with young American kids. It wasn't so bad in Australia. You would get the young fucking generation, and yeah, they were depressed, but they could have a laugh. It seems a little bit different here. Maybe it's specifically Boston. Maybe they're just too smart. Maybe they're like Harvard kids and MIT kids, and they're looking up there and going, who is this fucking retarded Australian guy? Who let this animal out here? But I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. I mean, everyone had a rough night tonight, but fucking, oh, it makes you feel alive. I can tell you that right now. Who is the generation under me? So it goes millennials. Is it Gen Z straight underneath millennials? That can't be right, can it? Maybe it is. Gen Z might be 30 now. No, there's something in between. Who cares about the in between? They're even worse than the millennials and Gen Z. We all know who the worst are, though. We all know the worst generation. Anyway, I need to get a fucking run of gigs going just to fucking knock off this rust fully as well. Oh, the grind. The grind is fucking in full motion. And I've got fucking improv tomorrow night as well. Anyway, besides that, I have decided that I am going to begin reducing my position in Iron and Cypher. Not because I don't believe in the companies anymore, and I still believe they've got potentially massive upside still to come, but there's this lingering feeling I have just from reading a lot of the reports Evan's been doing on DeepSeek and the CapEx spending for AI, and I feel like there's something coming. I feel like this AI bubble is potentially gonna burst, and I just don't want to be fucking riding it all the way back to zero. So today it was up fucking 8%. It got back to 51. I sold like 1% of my position at $51 or something like that. But then I also put a stop loss in for $60 for iron. So that's going to sell another like 3 or 4% if it hits $60. But I'm really, really monitoring the situation now. So the thesis falls apart if there's an announcement that they're gonna, well, the hyperscalers like fucking Amazon, Nvidia, all these companies, if they decide that they're going to reduce spending on the AI build out. The problem is this DeepSeek. That's the problem. Apparently it's doing frontier AI on like a shoestring. Like it's 10x cheaper per token to do it on DeepSeek, and they're not running NVIDIA GPUs, and they're doing it with like 10x less power as well. So the argument Evan is pretty much making is China is going to chop out a lot of the Western AI, because even if it's not like as good at the top tier, it will be good enough for your average Joe, and they'll be able to produce it so much cheaper, and it's open source, that if any of that comes to fruition, then the capital expenditure, which is what CapEx is, for the AI build outs, the data centers and that, is going to be drastically reduced. And then if that happens, NVIDIA goes down. NVIDIA could still go down because China is fucking getting pretty close with their GPUs as well. So that's the hedge I'm making. So I'm keeping a very close eye on what's happening. Still, my prediction is there's plenty of upside, and I feel like there's going to be a massive fucking... There's going to be a massive print. There's going to be a massive bout of inflation. Like there'll be a crash and then an absolute blitz before a full-scale depression. So that's what I'm thinking. That's just a guess, really. So I just thought I'd tell everyone who is on iron that I'm starting to manage the decline. Not decline, but I'm starting to lower my position. Anyway, fucking that'll do it for tonight, and I'll see you the fuck later.